Jordan to return. Jordan took a kickback against NC State for a score last year. Won't have the chance on the opening kickoff. Jack Plummer, the quarterback for Louisville, a transfer from Purdue where he played for Jeff Brom. Then he lost his job at Purdue, transferred to Cal, reunited with Brom. And last week, Andre, he had the best game of his career.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 85% completion percentage, 388 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also ran for one. Accounted for 6 total touchdowns in last week's game. By far his best game of his career.
To the air on first down. Pressure from up the middle. Gets rid of it and able to complete. A gain of 9 yards on the play. It's Chris Bell, his 5th catch of the season. And Andre, this is an offense averaging more than 8 yards per play, top 5 national.
How do you beat the blitz, Anish? You beat it with quick hitters, and that's exactly what they're dialing up. The screen game. Tony Gibson loves to run blitz, loves to bring pressure. You're going to see a lot of it tonight. You're going to see a lot of screens tonight.
On the ground. And this is Jawar Jordan, hit for a loss. 3rd down coming up. Jordan, the ACC's leading rusher, entering tonight.
NC State defensively on the ground. Been a little stingy. You know how to get after you. 6th in the conference in terms of rushing defense. Giving up 114 on the ground, but they will crowd the line of scrimmage. They will harass you. They want to force the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly.
NC State, the best 3rd down defense in the ACC. 3 tight ends into the game. Off play action. Nobody open. Plummer checks down. And he's got his tight end in the flat. And that's a first down, a gain of 10. It's Josh Lifson.
And an excellent read by Jack Plummer. It's a high-low read from the tight end to the back to the right. It's not there. He goes through his progressions, checks it down to his other tight end, Josh Lifson, and picks up the first down. That's just an excellent job of playing quarterback. You now see where he's getting more and more comfortable in this offense.
First down, they'll keep it on the ground. And it's Jordan again out across the 45, a pickup of 4. Peyton Wilson made the stop. First time we've called his name tonight.
23 point whatever is fast. That's all I know. And Cart talked about him early, and he's already making plays. Co-MVP to this point in the season for this NC State defense. The other guy who's playing that well, Davin Van, a defensive lineman who is just all over the place.
Wilson, the ACC's leading tackler. Orbit motion from Jamari Thrash, and the handoff to Jordan. And gets to the 2nd level, and he's got enough for a first down.
Good push by the offensive line. Michael Gonzalez is playing as well as anybody. They're going to pull him, like to pull him, get him in space on a kick-out block, and that block is the one that's kind of opened things up for Jawar Jordan. The last couple of weeks, Anish has just been playing flat out of his mind.
Louisville with 3 wins against the Power 5 already. 2 conference wins in the bag. Plummer to the air. Takes a shot downfield and too far. His receiver had a step. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10. He wanted Jordan, and that's the DNA of this offense. Explosive plays. They've done it better than almost anybody in the country.
We got to keep an eye on that matchup. Peyton Wilson against Jawar Jordan, who was on him in coverage. He had a step on him, but Peyton Wilson was not that far behind. So a linebacker that can play sideline to sideline.
Isaac Garendo comes in to spell Jordan. Jamari Thrash, one of the top receivers in the ACC.
And uncovered.
Lined up in the slot. Play action. This is where Plummer excels. And able to find his tight end, Kariski. The tight end position was one that was a concern for Jeff Brom going into this season. He even told us we're not getting a ton, but 2 catches on this opening drive.
Yeah, Lifson, Kariski, both guys have made plays, and they have Joey Gatewood, who's a tremendous athlete that plays tight end, and Jamari Johnson, the freshman, who has really stepped up. 3rd downs this year, only 9% in that season opener, which we got a chance to see him. The last 3 games, much improved, up to 54%, which is outstanding.
They have been terrific in the first quarter as well, outscoring opponents 34-0 in the first 15 minutes. Kevin Coleman, the motion man. Here's the blitz. Plummer in trouble. Tries to get away. Got rid of the football. And let's see, did they get him down? One of the officials looked to signal that he might have been sacked.
Garindo, though, was there. And you're going to have a blitzer coming off the edge in Betty. Coming right off the edge into the face of Plummer, who does an outstanding job of just avoiding the hit and just getting the ball out just so you can punt it away.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. And Brady Hodges to punt. Fair catch signaled for and made by Jalen Coit. NC State's got a couple of dangerous return men. We'll get to see Brennan Armstrong and this Wolfpack offense when we come back. For a 12th consecutive season, pretty impressive company on that active streak list.
Teams that have won national championships on that list recently.
Brennan Armstrong on first down, quarterback run. He powers his way to the 19, a gain of 4. This is a NC State offense where the quarterback is the leading rusher, Armstrong. He had all sorts of success 2 years ago at Virginia. Robert Anai was his offensive coordinator there. New staff last year, his numbers plummeted. He's reunited now with Anai in Raleigh, but the results haven't been what they were in 2021.
No, but they're turning the corner, and he's getting better each week.
He's able to find his running back out of the backfield. It's Michael Allen. And this is a backfield for NC State that's taken some hits in the last few weeks. Jordan Houston, who came into the season as the lead back, no longer on the team. He's redshirting this year, will likely enter the transfer portal at season's end. And then Kendrick Raphael, who played well 2 weeks ago against BMI, got hurt last week against Virginia. He's out today, so you'll see Allen, you'll see the big back, Mims, and you'll see the walk-on, the former walk-on, DeMarcus Jones. 3rd down. They'll hand it off.
I don't think he got there.
Let's get to the 25. Looks like he's short.
Tremendous penetration by Louisville, and they turn him sideways, which is going to be shy of about the 25 where he needs to get to pick up the 1st down. But you see guys coming through those gaps, and it's just tremendous penetration and push to force NC State to punt it away here.
And Andre, remember, NC State's missing a big piece in the middle of that offensive line. Dylan McMahon, their starting center, a future NFLer, is out.
And that's you lose leadership. You lose the ability to check calls at the line of scrimmage. All of it when a player like McMahon's out of the lineup.
Noon Kester averaged 50 yards a punt last week, and that one fair caught by Kevin Coleman. Both teams have had the ball once. Neither has scored. Scoreless in Raleigh. And our friend Lee Corso, 3-0-1 in 1969, shortly after man landed on the moon. And Jeff Brom spent a long time as a high school player in Louisville, played for the Cardinals, was an Arena League coach in Louisville, strong ties to the city, to the state, and in his first year back as head coach.
He was letting the officials have it for some reason. You don't know where he went from one to the other, just down the line, wearing them out during that timeout.
Off play action. Plummer's got a clean pocket. He's got room to run if he wants to. He'll take off, and he's tripped up.
He's not going to outrun him.
By Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson going to find you, going to run you down, and Jack Plummer has no chance in the open field against Peyton Wilson. He is coming from way behind, and the closing speed is amazing.
Wilson already a couple of tackles tonight. 17 career games with double-digit tackles. He did it last week against Virginia, did it against Notre Dame as well this year. Jordan gets the call, does not get much, and third down coming up.
You know, Peyton Wilson's speed is one thing, his effort's another. He told me this week his goal is to exert every bit of energy he has on every play, and he loves his defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson, because if he makes a mistake, as long as he's going 100 miles an hour, Gibson's okay with it.
And that's exactly how he plays, is 100 miles an hour every single play. Rarely does he ask out of the game.
A sixth-year senior who led the ACC in tackles back in 2020. Wolfpack, drop 8. Plummer to Callaway. It's thrown behind him, and it's incomplete. Fourth down. So early on, this is an NC State team banged up in the secondary, especially at safety. There are 2 starters going into the season. Jakeem Harris, Devin Boykin, both out. Harris is out for the season, and Louisville not able to take advantage.
Well, they can band-aid it because Louisville hadn't attacked them down the field yet, or tried to hit the seams where they put some pressure on those safeties. Until you do it, you're going to be able to keep a band-aid on that scratch and not have it exposed.
Looks like a fake. It is. Flag is down. A first down if it stands. Isaac Garendo made the catch.
There's going to be a hold, Anish, against Jack Rager. So this one is coming back.
And there's an injured NC State player.
Offense, number 35. 10-yard penalty, fourth down.
Trent Penix was down.
I stand corrected. It's Antonio Watts, and not Jack Rager, who was called for holding.
Penix, a big part of what NC State does on offense. He can play H-back, tight end. We were told he'd see some time at running back today. He comes off the field.
A heck of a play, set it up just perfectly, and at the very end, Watts, holding on to the jersey of the NC State players, gets the flag.
Andre, that was one he didn't need to.
No, it was going to be a first down at that point in time anyway.
2 return men. It's Gray and it's Coy. This one bounces. It takes an NC State bounce. Only a 26-yard kick. Prime starting field position for the Wolfpack.
Is he getting better and better each time out as a receiver?
Allen goes wide. Armstrong throws downfield, intended for Concepcion. Tried to thread the needle. It's incomplete. Second down and 10.
Boy, he almost set him up big time, because Cameron Kelly, the senior safety, all 6'2", 210 pounds of him, had KC Concepcion lined and in his sights. Some collision there.
Kelly's been playing well, the grad transfer from North Carolina. Here comes Michael Allen, sophomore from Greenville, North Carolina. Lost a couple. He was NC State's top incoming recruit a season ago.
Jalen Alderman showing some speed of his own. Peyton Wilson went 23. It's about 21, 22 right there. He closed quickly. Really good athlete in the middle of this Louisville defense.
DeMarcus Jones, the running back, on 3rd and long. Louisville last year led the nation in sacks. Sack numbers down, but they're getting a ton of pressure. Armstrong flushed out. He'll try to run for it. And he's out of bounds. A few yards shy of the marker. 4th down. Do you go for it?
I think so. When you're across midfield like this and going to start stacking wins together, if you're going to compete in this league and win games, you have opportunities here. You're across midfield. I see no reason why Dave Doran would not go for it here.
NC State 1 for 3 on 4th down. Robert Anai, their offensive coordinator.
Mad scientist. What can he draw up? What's he mixing up in the lab?
Offensive lineman here.
Got in a couple of situations like this and ran the quarterback last week.
Armstrong under center, and there's movement.
False start, offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Right guard, Derek Eason.
We could have easily gone left guard as well. Anthony Carter, he jumps. Actually, it's Eason in the left guard spot. So they've moved him over to left guard as opposed to the right side. Either way, both teams with a 4th down situation or third down situations. One with Louisville, where they actually had converted in a holding penalty, and then a false start doesn't allow NC State to get out of the starter's block.
Good punt by Noonkester, and it pins Louisville inside its own 15-yard line. Andre, explosive plays has been the formula for Louisville. They're bringing dynamite to each game.
Yeah, Jack Plummer's throwing them, Thrass is catching them, and Jawar Jordan, he's running them. 11 touchdown plays at 25 yards or more, 8.1 yards per play. That's 4th in the country right now behind only Washington and Michael Penix Jr. It is 25 yards per game, 7.3 plays in that category. Let me tell you something, they do it in a hurry.
Well, they have 6 touchdowns this season of 70 or more yards. And nobody's thrown more 40-yard completions in the country than Jack Plummer. Underneath to Callaway, and the Tennessee transfer stood up immediately. They don't blow it dead. Actually, that's Jaden Thompson.
And the second effort there, Anish, is going to actually cost him about 4 yards. They let it play out. He went backwards and he kept his balance. Had he gone down, he would have gotten the progress in which or where he caught the football, but they let it play out. It's going to be a very minimal, if any, gain on that play.
They'll say no gain, just the second
Lost
catch for Thompson this season. Plummer moves the pocket. Hits Garindo. And he thunders close to the 20-yard line. 3rd down and much more manageable coming up.
Well, when you see Garindo on film, you got no nonsense. He is straight ahead. I used to play with a guy, Ed Tillison, in Detroit. You know what his nickname was? Straight ahead Ed, because he didn't vary at all. I mean, it was right into your chest, and he was bringing his lunch pail every single time. That's what Isaac Garindo reminds me of. Straight ahead Ed.
Garindo, one of 25 transfers brought in by Jeff Brom. He came from Wisconsin.
Slidell, Louisiana, just came to me.
There's the blitz. Ball is knocked down. Who else? Peyton Wilson.
Oh, my goodness. He had a receiver in the flat, and I mean wide open. If Peyton Wilson doesn't deflect this pass, it's going to be off to the races. Right off the edge, number 11, Peyton Wilson can't get there. He's being blocked by the fullback, and all of a sudden just makes a play. You've got to find a way, if you're Jack Plummer, to complete that, because your big guy's going to run for a long, long time.
Fair catch called for by Julian Gray, 44-yard kick. Saturday, these are the featured games on ABC. Number 3, Texas hosting number 24, Kansas. We had Kansas a few weeks ago. What they do offensively, they get your eyes in the wrong place. They scheme it up. Great coaching staff. Can they do it again to Texas?
Yes.
Like they did a few years ago.
In Austin, calling the upset right now. They did it a few years ago, as you mentioned. They are a better team now than they were then, but so is Texas. But I'm still going with the Jayhawks.
Kansas quarterback, Big 12 preseason offensive player of the year. Duke's got a good quarterback, too. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame with Sam Hartman, coming off that crushing loss to Ohio State. Those two do battle in Durham. Game day in town. First time college football game day has come to Durham.
And Louisville, as they struggle, continue to struggle on offense, NC State building confidence. Don't be surprised if You know, all of a sudden they find some rhythm here offensively with Brennan Armstrong, and then they're hard to deal with later on in this game.
Penix subbed off late, so you got to give Louisville a chance to sub. On the zone read, Armstrong keeps hitting the backfield, and he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Ashton Gillette, one of their, arguably their best down linemen on the defensive line. He makes the play, and not allowing Armstrong to get away. You talk about a guy that can just own a game, can flat out take over. Number 9 on the defensive line for Louisville.
Last week, Gelati had 2 sacks in the win against BC. Third and short. Lassane, the motion man. 3-man pressure. Armstrong will run. Flag down. And Armstrong is dropped shy of the marker.
It's usually in the area of holding.
Here's a question. Do you decline the penalty or do you accept it and give them
Personal
4th and
foul.
short?
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I don't have to answer your question.
That's on the defense. You're not declining that if you're NC
I don't have to answer your question. But no, I would have punted in that situation. No penalty. I'm punting because I'm not at midfield, and you don't want to give an opponent, if you come up short, plus yardage territory.
That's Gelati.
Right into the face. Good call by the officials there.
Gelati came into the game leading the nation in quarterback hurries and total pressures.
And it's man-to-man across the board. We call this cover 5 with 2 high safeties.
Armstrong's got time. And too high for Rosner.
Not bad coverage by Storm Duck on the back end, the transfer out of North Carolina.
Named after Storm Logan from The Bold and the Beautiful. One of Mom's favorite soaps.
Just letting NC State hang around in this game and gaining some kind. I felt like this was going to be a close game. Whoever gained confidence first going to have a leg up on the other team. As I say that, now Louisville makes a stop for a loss.
Ramon Puryear getting to Michael Allen, and 3rd and long coming up, and you trying to get maybe half of it back.
Yeah, half of it back to go for it on 4th down, or to at least get yourself back into field goal range.
DeMarcus Jones will come in on 3rd down at running back. One high safety look for Louisville. Cardinals rush 4. Armstrong dancing in the pocket. Hit back near the logo, and down he goes. The sack by Puryear, so that's back-to-back TFLs for Puryear, and now NC State has to punt.
Former walk-on, and he just makes his way to the pocket, bull rush, and all of a sudden, when Brennan Armstrong steps into the pocket, he steps right into the arms of Ramon Puryear. A heck of a job there, just the bull rush. You talk about some arm pumping, fist pumping, all of that along the Louisville sideline. Been a couple of times that's happened.
Coleman lets this one bounce. It takes a Louisville bounce, and it's down inside the 25. Andre, as we get a flag, I go back to what Robert and I told us yesterday. You want to see more out of Brennan Armstrong, yes, but it has to start up front with the offensive line.
And you got to protect it. And once you get guys like Michael Gonzalez going, Austin Collins, who is starting at center tonight for NC State.
Number 21, 10-yard penalty. First down, Louisville.
You get some protection and you can run the football, then all of a sudden play action starts to kick in. The ability to run, run the quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, that's where it kind of gets fun for the offense of NC State.
Yeah, there's been a lot of clamoring amongst the NC State fan base for MJ Morris, the talented backup quarterback who played well as a freshman last year. But Robert and I says, listen, we have not seen Brennan Armstrong's full capabilities, and until the offensive line plays better up front, you're not going to get that. First down. Louisville keeps it on the ground, and this run game for Louisville has not gained much traction. Jawar Jordan, the ACC's leading rusher, 5 carries, 11 yards on the night.
He's not very big, but he will take on defenders. Nice test there from Florida by the Kentucky Wildcats. A tough game.
Jordan goes wide. Plummer fakes it to him. Now he's pursued. Throw to the sideline, and the catch made by Amari Huggins-Bruce. He had a big game last week, 3 catches, 100. A lot of that starts on first down. If they can make hay on first down, that opens up the playbook. They got a chance here in space. And a big gainer to the outside into NC State territory. It's Jawar Jordan. So we were talking in the quarter break. Not many vertical shots. Well, you got to get in the right downs to do that, or you just give it to Jawar Jordan in space.
Yeah, you do that, or you get, 6-7 yards on first down, and you put yourself in a position to attack this back end of NC State that's been injured. Fitzgerald and Brown going at safeties for NC State tonight. Believe me, they will be challenged at some point in this ball game.
A gain of 26. Wolfpack bring pressure. Plummer chucks it away. He was out of the pocket. The ball crossed the line of scrimmage. There is a flag down.
Middle of the field in the secondary. It's going to be against NC State. It may give Louisville another first down here.
Holding defense number 19. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And there it is.
Bishop Fitzgerald, one of the safeties.
He played a decent game last week. They were expecting him to have a huge game. Very, very fast on the back end, skilled. And he has excellent range, but he got caught with his hands in the cookie jar in that last play.
He had a great tipped ball last week that led to an interception from Sean Brown.
Here comes pressure.
It's Jordan. Swarmed in a sea of black, a loss of a yard. C.J. Clark, the big nose tackle, got there first.
And as long as Tony Gibson sees his run defense stopping this run game, he is going to continue to bring pressure. And that's just to stop him on first and second down. Now, if they're able to hit a crack and get through when he's blitzing or bringing pressure, then that's when you'll force him to dial it back a little bit. But so far, so good for defensive coordinator Tony Gibson.
There's the blitz again. Plummer's got time. Over the middle and through the hands of his intended target, Chris Bell.
It looked like Chris Bell may have put his hands up a little bit late, trying to reel that one in. It's a well-thrown ball. Slide in the pocket. Go through your progressions. Thought a well-thrown ball by Plummer. Just got to make that grab.
Andre, one name we have not called for Louisville. Their top receiver, Jamari Thrash.
It won't be long. At some point, one of the coaches is going to recognize he hadn't touched it, and they'll get it to him on a screen or an end around.
3rd and 11 empty. Plummer looking for Thrash. He dropped it.
Tough there because now you're on the fringes of field goal range, no positive yards. You're just kind of forced to punt it away here. Actually, they're going to kick the field goal. 53 or so. Right at about 53 yards.
Travelstead is season-long and career-long 38. This is a 53-yarder, and again, with Jeff Probst's team.
It's about what he told us a couple weeks ago in terms of his range.
They'll let it fly. It's a low liner. Will it get there? No. Hold it. Louisville misses the field goal. Still no score. He's the only former NC State player in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Torrey Holt will get there, and Paul Carcaterra is with the coach.
Well, Nish, a total legend indeed, and Coach Cowher, special night for you. Inducted into the Ring of Honor here at NC State. How did this place influence you in terms of your football career post-Wolfpack days?
Well, it was, Paul, I think, the formative years of my life. I came down here as a kid from Crafton, Pennsylvania, and left here a pretty good football player. But more importantly than that, I met my wife, the mother of my 3 children down here. And this place, those 4.5 years, one of the most memorable years of my life.
Describe your emotions when they took down that banner and you saw your name.
Well, you know what? I played a lot of football games on this field. Like I said, playing this game at night and to see my name out there is very humbling. Look at the other names that are up there. 2 of my teammates are up there, Jimmy Richer and Ted Brown. Torrey Holt's up there, Bradley Chubb's up there, Bill Yost is up there. These are guys that just were legendary, and to be up there with them, humbling.
I did at NC State. 2 times you had 24 tackles in the game. We're seeing a tackling machine for the Wolfpack tonight in Peyton Wilson. How would you assess his game, Coach?
Peyton Wilson's an athlete. He's a football player. So you know what? I told the team last night, I didn't come down here to see these guys lose. I didn't come down here to see the defense give up any scores. So they've held up their end of the bargain so far.
NFL Hall of Famer, now inducted into the Ring of Honor, and a tough football guy. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
And that's the ultimate compliment. Just a football player. That's what he called Peyton Wilson.
NC State with a little something on this drive, and then Armstrong lit up. Andre, 1978, Bill Cowher had a school record that still stands, 195 tackles.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Jeff Clark with that hit, but go back to that for a second. You talk about this intensity. He wore it on his face every single Sunday when he was coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now those cutaways were a director's dream. Here's Armstrong, quarterback draw. That's a Bill Cowher kind of guy. If Brennan Armstrong's not going to slide.
He is. You're absolutely right. That's a Bill Cowher type of player. Just tough as all get out. Not even thinking about sliding when he pulls the ball down the run.
Armstrong, 16 rushing yards, 5 through the air, only 1 of 4 passing. Big 3rd down. There's the blitz. Armstrong is hit. The throw is caught by Lassane. He's shy of the marker. It's going to be 4th and about 2.
It was right in the middle where you would expect a holding penalty to come.
Holding, offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Lyndon Cooper in for Dylan McMahon at center. Has been there the last few weeks. But gonna bring this one back. They were gonna be short of the 1st down marker anyway. Now it's gonna be an even tougher 3rd down situation in which to pick up. Desmond Tell with tremendous pressure on Armstrong.
That's a big boy coming right through the middle.
Yes, he is.
So 3rd and short now turns into 3rd and 14.
Man, you were thinking about maybe if you got close to it, you're across midfield, 4th down coming. Surely Dave Doran would roll the dice a little bit and go for it on 4th down. Now, I don't know if that's clearly the case.
Louisville dropping a. Allen gets the call, gets to the outside, and he gets close.
Excellent run, and that's what happens when you go into that prevent look that Ron English decided to go to. He's just backing guys out. It's 3rd and long now. They relax a little bit, and then all of a sudden here comes Michael Allen with a little bit of daylight, and on a short situation here on 4th and short, they're going to elect to punt it. I thought if they got it back close, he would go for it on 4th down.
Oh, they must like what they're seeing defensively and want to play field position, but 4th down and short, you got a couple of power backs there. Jones, Kelbert Mims, Armstrong can run it. Now, maybe time to mull it over.
Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Both clocks will start on my signal.
I'm with the fans now. I can't believe it either. I thought 3rd down before the penalty, before the holding penalty, you were certainly trying to get it to where you can go for it on 4th down.
Fake punt. It's Peyton Wilson.
There you go.
So both coaches have tried to fake punt in the first half. Louisville succeeded. It was called back on a penalty. Direct snap. Peyton Wilson just about to say he's the up man. And it's a first down for State.
See you one and raise you a trick play. Except mine's going to stand because no penalty.
And you think they're going to fold, and then there's that little ace in the sleeve.
Right. Get the approval of Coach Cowher.
Bill Cowher, 15 years as the head coach of the Steelers, a couple of Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl 40. Armstrong off play action. Now he's flushed. Quick throw to the sideline, and that is caught. Dakari Collins, the Clemson transfer, brings it in. Terrell Timmons, excuse me, made the catch.
He made a couple of big catches, or a catch last week. Similar to this one, where he is a magician along the sideline with the footwork.
Concepcion motions out. Gibbs to Mims. And the redshirt junior from Indianapolis gets NC State a little closer. 3rd down and short. Raheem Craig, the stop.
Not a bad job in terms of methodically moving the ball down the field. Just picking up 3rd down and short, 4th downs, continuing to move the football, because you don't want Louisville to have it where they get a hot hand and they score quickly. So you wait to cool them off, keep them on the sideline. Oh boy, you got what you want, man-to-man across the board.
Armstrong, clean pocket, throws to the sideline, caught, and a first down for NC State. Timmons again.
Nice job by the offensive line, giving the time needed to the quarterback Armstrong to go from one side of the field back to the other and then deliver an accurately thrown ball for a big, big play to Timmons.
Best looking drive of the night for NC State. First 3 drives totaled 17 yards, 51 on this one. Out of a split back look. Armstrong will run behind Jones, and he gets a couple. 2nd down.
That is how you get him settled into a game. It's the running game for Armstrong. Very first play of the game, quarterback run. And you think Robert and I doesn't know how to settle Brennan Armstrong into a game after having coached him a couple of years. Tremendous amount of success those two have had as quarterback and play caller.
Now Louisville's got one of the best red zone defenses in the country through 4 games. Armstrong will run again, using his back as a blocker. He tunnels to about the 7-yard line, picked up 5 on the play. It's 3rd down.
Run a little quarterback counter where you allow the back to cross in front of him. He starts one way and then comes back downhill the other. And you got it now where they can pick up a niche, a fresh set of downs at about the 4-yard line or so.
NC State brings in a couple of bigger bodies here.
Inverted wishbone out of the shotgun.
Armstrong will keep it, looking for the edge. Now cuts it back.
Didn't get the first down. He's going to be just shy. He got inside the 5, but not to the 4. Warren Jr. in there on the tackle.
How do you go for it? 4th and 1. Offense is out on the field.
Absolutely you do. I didn't think about it. I'd give a hard count right here. See if I can get Louisville to give me a free first down here.
This will be the 12th play of the drive. Armstrong fakes the reverse. Hits Penix in the flat. He's pulled out of bounds.
Got the first down.
And it looks like he did get it. 1st and goal for NC State.
A lot of ball handling for 1 yard. And I mean, barely got there. I don't like the risk reward of that play call. There's so much going on that if the ball ends up on the ground, rather than just taking it either quarterback sneak or a back coming downhill, there's too much that could happen in a bad way.
Armstrong under center. Allen now goes wide. The give is to Mims, charging in, and the Wolfpack score first.
Haven't seen the OT formation in a long time. 2 tight ends, full house backfield with a little bit of motion, but they get Mims coming downhill with an excellent block by the fullback and into the end zone. NC State, they're on the board first.
3 straight games with a touchdown for Mims. Peyton Wilson had the run for a first down on the 4th down fake punt to extend the drive. And now Narveson, last time he kicked, had the game-winning field goal as time expired against Virginia. Puts the PAT through, 13 plays, 65 yards. Mims caps it. Andre, that took you back to your high school days.
Full house.
From school to the workplace, and Joe told me he credits his dad, Robert, and mom, Pam, for paving the way and how they modeled a given spirit in being there for those in need. And Anish, from one Jersey boy to another, you should be proud of Joe.
Oh, we Jersey guys stick together, and Joe Shemko has been a fixture and a leader in this Raleigh community and in that NC State locker room. Louisville ball on the other side. 9:30 on ESPN Plus. Falcons, Jaguars, Wembley Stadium. A lot of news and notes to get to. How about the Dolphins? 70 points, 700 plus yards on Denver last week.
That'll shut you up quick.
Well, they go to Buffalo.
That'll make you close your mouth pretty quick. 70 points.
Yeah, Sean Payton did talk a lot in the offseason about what happened last year at Denver. That's Maurice Turner. A lot of movement, but he just got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Remember the Titans? Shut them up hard. That's what the Dolphins did last weekend.
They have not had much success, though, in Buffalo recently.
They had plenty of success last weekend.
So did Louisville. They scored on their first 7 possessions, touchdowns against BC.
They could be going the other way this week for Louisville, having not scored on 4 consecutive possessions.
Not had much of a running game. There's Thrash on the slant, and he appears to have enough for a first down. He does, to the 35. First catch of the game for Jamari Thrash.
Perfect fit for this offense. They went out and targeted him from Georgia State. And he is like a couple of receivers that have played for Jeff Brom in terms of being that guy with a touch count. You need to touch it 15 to 20 times a game.
That's his 20th catch of the season, and he's averaging more than 20 yards per reception. Turner fights his way to midfield, longest run of the game, 13 yards for Louisville.
And they're starting to find some rhythm in this Louisville offense, which you got to play them tough every single snap because they can score so quickly. It's all we've talked about here at the top is how many big plays Louisville's had this season. That leads to points, and they are ramping it up right now on this drive.
Play action. Turner picks up the blitz. Throw downfield is caught. First down and more. Callaway out inside the 40-yard line of NC State, a gain of 16.
Boy, excellent route by Callaway, but the throw by Plummer is what wins. Pressure coming, and he lets this ball go. But Callaway has yet to come out of his break. That ball was thrown before the receiver even broke. That's the definition of throwing a guy open. You hear that term as a fan all the time. Well, when the ball's thrown, all of a sudden the guy comes open, or it's in a window which you don't think the quarterback can fit it through. That's the definition.
Back to the air. NC State rushing 3. Check down underneath. And that is caught. Gain of 5 yards on the play. Kariski, the tight end. Well, we told you Peyton Wilson is fast. Maurice Turner's fast, too. This is him racing Tyreek Hill. This was when he was in high school, and he came pretty close.
Well, I tell you what, when you can run side by side with the cheetah, you've done something. Maurice Turner, he is that guy. He is him from a speed standpoint.
Went almost step for step. Plummer under pressure, hit. No whistle, ball is out.
What a real
ruled it's a fumble, but I think when they take a look at it, and we may have to bring Matt in on this, I thought his arm was coming forward, and this is going to be ruled an incompletion.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
First
down, NC State.
They let it play out, but the arm of Plummer is coming forward when the ball comes out.
Sean Brown coming on the safety blitz. And they will look at this. A potential momentum swing hangs. Here was the last play, and it is ruled a fumble and a recovery by NC State. So now off sudden change, Jones dropped in the backfield for a big loss on first down. Let's bring in our rules analyst, Matt Austin. Matt, we were told that there was no extensive replay review. Every play can be looked at upstairs. What do you see here?
Well, it definitely looked to me like the hand came forward. The hand came forward empty. If the ball has to have, the quarterback has to have control of the ball in his hand when the hand comes forward. In this case, I think he came through with an empty hand, and I think it's a good call of a fumble.
Are you shocked, Matt, that they didn't even take a look at it to see or spend some time maybe seeing if it were a fumble?
I'm not surprised they didn't stop the game, but I would think they would look at it during the dead ball.
Armstrong gets 8 to get to midfield. Yeah, either way, NC State takes over at midfield, and first play goes for a loss. Second play, you get some of it back and then some, and now it's third down.
I just thought maybe they would take an extensive look. We know every play is reviewed, but when on a play like that, where there is a turnover and somewhat of a question, go ahead and spend the necessary time to make sure that thing is 100%. Even then, though, some of it gets questioned by us up here.
On third down, Louisville brings pressure. Armstrong on the slant, incomplete. Wanted Rosner, Quincy Riley in coverage, and NC State not able to take advantage of the turnover. And so Matt, just the last point on the fumble, you're looking at the quarterback's hand. If it comes forward, it doesn't matter where the ball lands, but does he have control when that arm is coming forward? That's the key, right?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
They're going to dodge it. Louisville's going to dodge a big turnover there. Field position, and obviously that's going to change for Louisville, but at least the defense holds and forces a punt.
There's Kevin Coleman, and the SWAC freshman of the year last year at Jackson State, where he played for Dion, calls for a fair catch. Time to get to the studio with Matt Berry.
Anish, good evening. Coming up on the Boost Infinite Halftime Report, we'll discuss what we've seen in the first half of this game. Plus, is Duke ready for the primetime spotlights this week at a college game day? We'll find out. BYU coming up next. Keaton Slovis mic'd up. And the segment sweeping the country. We are mulling it over, OU and Texas style. Dan Mullen, Sam Acho join me coming up on the Boost Infinite Halftime Report.
Matt, Duke is ready. Trust me, they're ready.
Meanwhile, a penalty on Louisville on the return. And it'll back up the Cards half the distance, so they'll begin this drive at their own 7. 1:38 to go. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts.
Experienced quarterback in Jack Plummer. 3 timeouts, 1:38. More than enough time, even with you being on your own 3-yard line. More than enough time to go down and try to tie this game up.
Plummer will hand it off. And Jordan fights his way to the 15-yard line.
Just like that. I mean, you talk about a guy that every time Jordan touches the ball, you might as well hold your breath, because he can take it the distance every single time he touches it.
That 8-yard run, the longest of the night for Jordan. Plummer keeps this, moves the chains, and remember, with under 2 minutes, first down momentarily stops the clock.
Plenty of time.
Plummer lets it fly downfield, intercepted. Shaheem Battle brings it to the 32 of Louisville.
I'm not sure who Jack Plummer was looking at on this pass. It's cover 2 and no flat threat. So you got to know that the corner, his job is to go ahead and run. There's nobody coming to the flat. So he's going to turn and run with the receiver. When you know as a quarterback that you don't have a route out there and he's going to turn and run, you go somewhere else with the football. You don't try to squeeze it behind the corner and the safety, because that area just shrunk itself down. So you can't go there, and by doing so, Plummer's going to pay a heavy price. It's going to amount to points for NC State.
Battle gets to chew on the takeaway bone. An all-conference corner last season. He and Aiden White, one of the best cornerback tandems in this league. Now sudden change. Armstrong to Mims. In space, wrapped up.
Nice tackle.
And wrangled for a loss of 2.
Fordham with an excellent tackle in space. Just kind of, Peyton Wilson kind of took him under his arm. Excuse me. Perry with that tackle.
And we get a timeout from NC State. 2 left, 41 seconds. So back-to-back Louisville drives end with the turnover. You had the fumble near midfield. Now you got the interception. If you're NC State, you may have left some points on the board in this first half. Short field where he didn't take advantage. You're looking at the scoreboard saying, as good as we've played defensively, it's only 7-0.
Well,
it feels imperative to get some points here.
If you're NC State, you're saying, hey, all of that has gone on, but we can steal a possession here at the end of the first half. And we're going to get the ball first to start the second half. So we're looking to add some points, whether through a field goal or get it into the end zone here. And we're going to get it in the second half. Can't leave any time, though, for Louisville to put any type of scoring drive together.
Armstrong, 5 of 9 passing. Going deep for Lassane, turning and incomplete. It brings up 3rd and 12. 35 seconds to go. And now, if you're Robert and I, the offensive coordinator, you're sort of pushing.
Well, during that timeout, I'd have made sure that I've told Brennan, look, make sure you're completing the football, because we need to move it to get ourselves closer and in better field position. Already missed one. Actually, Louisville missed the field goal.
They'll keep it on the ground.
Nice.
And that was to set up a more manageable attempt for Narveson, a gain of 3, so 4th down coming up. NC State will let the clock run down, and that was the idea, right? You know, Narveson can hit from beyond 50, but first half, you want to get the sure thing, and as you mentioned, they get the ball to begin the 3rd quarter.
Doran told us that 52 yards was about the distance he trusted him with. So it's well within that range. Trying to make sure that you don't leave any time for Louisville to put anything together here.
Timeout by Dave Doran with 3 seconds to go to set up the kick. And now a quick word from Duluth Trading Company.
A full-on chest bump with the mascot of the game. The durability and flexibility of Duluth Fire Hose Pants lets you celebrate any way you want. Back to you.
This will be about a 48-yard field goal drive for Braden Narveson. He took over for the Groza Award winner, Christopher Dunn, NC State's all-time leading scorer. A grad transfer. Spent last season at Western Kentucky, began his career at Iowa State. Season long is 49, and this will match it, a 49-yarder. Shemko, who Kark highlighted, will snap. And Narveson drills it.
Nothing to it. Snap for NC State. Then Brennan Armstrong goes to Terrell Timmons Jr. That put NC State up 7-0. They also added a field goal to get it to 10-0.
Well, let's take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Cintas. That field goal you mentioned came off of a Louisville turnover right before halftime. Not a lot of offense to write home about for both of these teams. No real run game for Louisville. NC State less than 90 yards of total offense, yet they lead by 10. And Before halftime, you talked about a 2-for-1. This is the second part of it.
No run game for Louisville, no pass game for NC State. I mean, it's just one of those deals where you figure out how to keep the ship righted here in the second half.
Brennan Armstrong to the air on first down. Flag down. He slides down for a gain of maybe 2.
It's coming back for a holding penalty.
All right, it's going to be on NC State as we go down to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Anish, when we spoke to Jeff Brom from Louisville this week, he said that playing here at NC State would be their toughest environment and the best team they've played to date, and both are true. He thinks his run game has really, really struggled, and NC State's putting so much pressure in the middle of their offensive run game, and the turnover is super costly, but defensively, he said his team's playing super hard, and they are laying the boom on this first play, too.
Yeah, they just did there. Jalen Alderman took out Bradley Rosner.
Hopefully Rosner's okay, but Alderman got a running start and did not slow down. He ran right through the receiver Rosner.
And
that's textbook right there.
Tackle.
That is textbook.
Second down and long, 18 to go. Whew. Rosner, an 8th-year senior, 26 years old. Pressure off the edge. Armstrong escapes, and he's tackled shy of the 25. Gain of 6, still a couple of yards behind the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and long.
And this is exactly, if you're Louisville, where you want this NC State offense. Behind the chains, you can dial up pressure. You can see if you can get there with Gelati, the defensive end, who is their best pass rusher.
Wolfpack go empty. Louisville amongst the best in the country in quarterback pressures. Sack numbers not quite there, though. They rush 4. Armstrong over the middle. It's complete. And a first down, Porter Rooks at the 40-yard line. A gain of 17.
Well, when you play zone against a guy like Armstrong on 3rd and long, he gets time. He's got enough experience to go through his reads. He's accurate enough, a good enough football player where he can convert a lot of 3rd and long situations. It's the offensive line play, given the necessary time for routes to develop.
NC State was 1 for 9 on 3rd down prior to that one. Armstrong launching deep downfield. Wants Timmons, and he makes the catch.
He has really started to emerge the last couple of weeks. Came into this one with just 2 catches, the big one last week, and a couple of big ones tonight, but showing off some speed against Trey Franklin. Not allowing Franklin to catch up.
He's had a knack for spectacular catches in his career. 3 catches tonight, 71 yards. Both are career highs. Louisville brings pressure. Armstrong to the end zone and intercepted. I don't know who he was trying to get the ball to, but it's picked off by Cameron Kelly.
I mean, just an overthrow, a bad decision, a bad throw against the blitz. Overthrows his intended receiver. Louisville gonna have good field position.
Take on Trevor Lawrence and the 1-2 Jaguars at Wembley Stadium. The interception by Cam Kelly, his 2nd of the season, and Louisville gets it back at their own 20-yard line. Plummer to the air on first down, open receiver far side. That's going to be a first down. Jimmy Callaway with another catch. That's his 3rd.
Well, it just kind of felt like an opportunity blown by NC State with getting the ball to steal a possession at the end of the first half. You take the opening possession of the second half, you're going right down the field, but then a turnover. You are keeping Louisville in this game.
Screen pass, Samari Huggins-Bruce. And he is clipped after a gain of about 3. Now, Brennan Armstrong made the great throw to Timmons to get NC State within striking distance, and then just a poor overthrow.
He made a freshman throw. That's a throw that a freshman would make, not an experienced senior quarterback.
This Wolfpack defense, though, has held an explosive Cardinals offense in check all night. Jawar Jordan gets a couple, had to maneuver through a roadblock. Jalen Scott the stop. It's 3rd down. Remember, Louisville last week scored on its first 7 possessions, all touchdowns. Nothing tonight.
NC State saying, hey, we're not Boston College, and we're at home. This is our house.
On 3rd down, all-out blitz. Plummer in trouble, and he's sacked by the safety, Sean Brown. Tony Gibson dialed it up all the way.
Yeah, when Jack Plummer breaks the huddle, he's got to know on 3rd down and anything, the possibility of getting blitzed is great. and so you got to expect it when you break the huddle. Where am I going with the football? If I get it and it presents itself quickly, yeah, he thought he had time and he didn't. And Sean Brown made him feel like, made him sure of that.
Louisville just gets the punt off, but a good kick. Coit fell, did not touch it, and Louisville will down it at about the 25. A 46-yard kick, no return. Cardinals unable to capitalize off the turnover.
Let's fluster this kid early. You got that? I want hands on these wideouts. Don't give them free access down the field. You understand that? Man coverage, hit our blitz tracks and go. We're going to bring it all night long. You guys got it? Let's go, boys. Play hard now.
Tony Gibson wanted to take away the explosive plays from Louisville. He's done that for the most part. He said we need at least 3 turnovers to win this game. He's got 2 so far. Armstrong on 1st down will hand it off. And Michael Allen got a yard, and that's it.
Both defenses have played some outstanding football. Even Louisville to hold NC State to just 10 points, 86 yards at the half. It's been impressive on both sides.
Now, Louisville, last time NC State got down inside the red zone, they had an interception. Now Louisville showing blitz. They'll back off. They rush 4, screen pass, and the same is Ballard for a loss.
Cameron Wilson, one of the first Louisville defenders to get there, just read it perfectly, and then everybody turns outside. The main thing is to not overrun the play and to play under control when a tunnel screen is coming at you. And hey, what, Louisville played it perfectly there.
And now Louisville's D coordinator Ron English can get creative here on 3rd and long.
Gonna bring some pressure, that's for sure. Here it comes.
They rush 5. Armstrong took too long, and he's sacked.
Guess who?
Back at the 11-yard line, Gelati.
Gelati's able to get home. They bring some pressure. It's not a blitz, but the pressure is there, and Gelati's able to get to Armstrong. The 5 that you see in the box, they're coming with man-to-man behind him. And they just blind Armstrong with the quick penetration from the inside between the guards. You can't see. That's why it's a quarterback's worst nightmare, so to speak, when you get pressure inside, because it blinds you from seeing down the field.
Low snap. Noonkester gets it away. A chance for Coleman. He's got midfield. And out of bounds near the 45-yard line of NC State. So Louisville's defense Gets the ball back for the offense in plus territory. Mayor Paul Carcaterra, Friday night at Carter Finley. NC State fans have come out. They've been rocking and roaring. It's a blackout. Louisville with its best starting field position of the evening. Jack Plummer comes out under center in an I formation. Play action. Plummer over the middle. He's got his big tight end. That's Kariski. And a first down, a gain of 16.
And just the showing of play action, the threat of running the ball, held the linebackers big time and gave Kariski a big hole in the middle of that zone in which to sit down. Well executed play by Louisville.
Plummer excels off play action. Kariski only had 1 catch on the season entering the game, 3 tonight. Out of the eye again. NC State showing blitz from the back end. Another play action. Here's the pressure. And he got rid of it, but was he down? Peyton Wilson was in the backfield.
Thrash tried to hurry and run over to give him a receiver. I don't know that he got out of the
There is a
tackle.
flag down.
He did.
And that might be grounding.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 13. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. Second down.
Just wondering where and if he got outside the tackle box. Peyton Wilson on a linebacker blitz able to get home. He's going to get credit for a sack.
Now the line of scrimmage is the 20, so does he get out of the tackle box? Looks like he might have, but I don't think the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. It did not. The line of scrimmage was the 30, excuse me. Plummer off play action. He'll take a shot deep downfield. He wants 6, end zone.
I think he caught it.
And it is a touchdown for the Cardinals.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a touchdown.
Chris Bell able to bring it in. As he comes down with it, and then WrestleMania. But again, as soon as he secures that, it's a dead ball and a touchdown. Shaheem Battle gets in there. The extra point is good. So Louisville has its first points of the game at 10-7. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, the old catch, not a catch. What are you looking for in that spot?
Oh, this was definitely a catch. He got his hands under the ball. He secured it into his belly, back on the ground, so he's down. Defender tried to wrestle it away, but at that point it didn't matter. It was already a touchdown.
Yeah, the official in the corner of the end zone or standing there watching the play. He saw it. He was signaling right away. The official from across the field or in the middle of the field, he was coming over with his hands up. All the officials had it called. They already had ruled it a touchdown.
For Chris Bell, his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, he's had moments. Had a few moments this year, early in the year against Georgia Tech. Had a couple of big catches in that one. Here comes Louisville. We got another Friday night fantastic finish brewing.
39-yard touchdown catch for the sophomore from Mississippi. And a fair catch is called for, so NC State will take it out at the 25-yard line. Monday Night Football, Seahawks and the Giants at MetLife Stadium. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes. Giants a couple of weeks ago had that big comeback. Offsides on Louisville, and Kenneth Walker, 4 rushing touchdowns, second in the NFL. He had a big day against the Panthers last weekend in Seattle.
Just a good football player, what Kenneth Walker is.
Former Doak Walker Award winner at Michigan State. began his career in the ACC at Wake Forest. Armstrong designed quarterback run. And Dave Dorn calls him a linebacker playing quarterback for a reason.
You know, Anish, a lot's been said about Brennan Armstrong and Robert and I getting back together after 3 years at Virginia. And Brennan told me last week 90% was like riding a bike when they got reunited. The other 10, Anai got some new stuff for his 1 year at Syracuse. But I'll tell you, after the last couple weeks, I don't think they're riding that bike too smoothly right now.
It's been a rough ride, that's for sure, but you got to take into account different personnel than they had at Virginia in all those years. A lot of reps between quarterback and receiver when he was in Charlottesville.
There comes Mims. He's more of a north-south guy than east-west. The flag comes in. Now the other difference is
Holding offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Anthony Belton, the Escalade, the left tackle, called Andre up front. Now, NC State has not been as consistent as they've been in years past.
Well, when you lose a guy like Dylan McMahon up front, that's tough because he's your communicator. He gets everybody aligned. He's, setting protections. That piece in the middle makes it tough on the other four. And so you've had to try to do it with Lyndon Cooper there, moving Anthony Carter into the lineup. It just hasn't played out up front in front of Brennan Armstrong to really allow him to be his true self.
Armstrong to the air. Down the middle. He finds Rosner for a first down. 8th-year senior, 26 years old. He's been through 2 ACLs, a broken wrist. JUCO ranks. Went to Rice, now at NC State, the Methuselah of college football.
He loves the game, in other words. Loves the game of football. You go through the amount of injuries he's been through and you're still playing, that's just flat out love right there.
Brennan Armstrong with that last completion goes over 10,000 yards passing for his career. Looking for more. Loads up. He wants Rosner, overthrew him. And it's incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
He and Rosner miscommunicate. Rosner pulls up.
And that's to Kark's point, right? You're working with a new group of receivers. He had all those years at Virginia where you get to know the little intricacies. You play the position.
And you're calling guys in the summer. You're making, those phone calls, lining up 7-on-7 situations during the summer months. All of those things. And then you get a tremendous amount of reps. You just got here.
He can still do this. The ball comes out. And Louisville looks to have it. They do. So NC State turns it over. And like that, momentum now belongs to the visitors from Derby City.
You're going to put it on your shoulders. You better take care of the football. 2 consecutive possessions, an interception by Brennan Armstrong, and then a fumble puts it on the ground here with Cameron Kelly on the recovery, knocking it out, and Purrier with a recovery.
So Cam Kelly now has had a hand in 2 turnovers. He had the interception in the end zone. Now the forced fumble with NC State in plus territory. Purrier falls on it. Louisville gets a shot, and don't be surprised if Jeff Brom either takes a shot or maybe even goes into the bag of tricks here.
Where's Thrash? Where's number 1? Lined up wide right in this formation. That may be where Plummer goes with the ball.
Thrash has been quiet today. Coleman in motion. Here's the trickeration. It comes back to Plummer. Throws it to Coleman. And he's navigating through a tight window. Still going. And he gets it to about the 30-yard line. Peyton Wilson brings him down, a gain of 26. Sudden change is where Jeff Brom likes to go into the bag.
Tony Gibson was bringing some more pressure. And you see right in the middle, I'm shocked that Louisville was able to get this ball off. With all the ball handling that needed to happen and the pressure was coming on Plummer. But Coleman makes it work some way, somehow.
Plummer trying to change the play. Nothing there. He runs out of bounds.
He changed it to a route that had just 3 men involved in the route. Everybody else was staying in and blocking, which gave him necessary time. It was just tremendous coverage on the back end by NC State, where Plummer didn't have anywhere to go with the football. Lucky to just get a yard out of that.
In motion. Plummer pumps. Looks for his tight end. Finds him. And then NC State found the tight end, Sean Brown, with the big hit.
Sean Brown is all over the field tonight. And they may have come into this game. Sean Brown is all over the field tonight. And they may have come into this game with depth issues at safety, but Sean Brown is making up for his part. Playing up to his potential, certainly, leaving everything on the field. Some big hits, sideline to sideline type hits. So he's been amazing.
The previous play is under further review.
The replay official's going to take a look at maybe targeting here.
And Andre, you hit it. Sean Brown's in there because Jakeem Harris is out for the season. Bishop Fitzgerald starting at safety with Devin Boykin out tonight. That is not a defenseless player at that point. That might be the question. He makes the catch. Does he make a football move? Now that's going to be the question. Matt Austin, our rules analyst. Let's bring in Matt. Matt, at that point, does Lipson become a defenseless player, or does it matter here as a crown of the helmet?
Well, in this case, I don't think it matters, but he would still be considered a defenseless player. He does not have enough time to really defend himself against any kind of a hit, and the hit is high. But you can see the defender coming in. He definitely lowers his head. It sure looks like it's crown of the helmet to me, although we don't see a shot on TV where we actually see the contact, but I don't see how it can be anything but crown. So I think this should be confirmed for targeting.
And again, all aspects of targeting need to be confirmed by replay.
I get it. I get the target. I get what you're trying to take out of the game, but I keep replaying that hit on Travis Hunter last weekend along the sideline or in the Colorado game when he was against Colorado State, and nothing happened in that game. And that was as malicious as they get. Somewhere in the rules, they've got to insert when you're trying to hurt a guy.
After further review, personal foul targeting, number 0, NC State. After distance to the goal penalty, number 0 is disqualified.
And for NC State, this is a double whammy. Not only is it the penalty, you are so thin at safety.
Yeah.
Dave Doran told us the only backup safety is Rakeem Ashford. If you remember, Ashford was the one who was carted off the field. He had a concussion, got hurt in the opener against UConn, has not played a whole lot since. Beyond him, they've got Jacoby Baldwin, who was moved from receiver to defensive back this week.
And this is my other problem with the rule. Third quarter, you're out of the game for targeting. You got to sit the entire fourth quarter. So that's one. Then the first half of next week. That's 3 quarters of football. It's designed where you're supposed to sit one half. So you need to figure out how to timestamp this thing. And once it's a half, let the guy go back and play football.
So Ashford comes in. Plummer, screen pass, looking for Jordan. And they did not signal incomplete. Now they do. The line judge signals incomplete. So forward pass, incomplete. Second down.
But you go back to that lick on Travis Hunter. And that was a dirty football play, and nothing happened. And you get a play like that with Sean Brown, an effort play, and he's got to sit 3 quarters of football.
I'm with you.
I've worn out Steve Shaw. He won't even take my calls anymore. Or won't answer my text messages.
Getting loud. Plummer will try to run, but there is nowhere to go. Devon Betty blew it up, 3rd and long.
God has been playing a lot of snaps since his true freshman year. Started his career as an outside linebacker, and they moved him inside where they can get a little more speed on this defense, and it's starting to pay off for the junior linebacker.
He's got dad strength, too. Became a father last week. Jordan goes wide, 2 tight ends. Lob to the end zone. Callaway comes down with it, but he did not secure it inbounds. That was Jaden Thompson again. Like a 7, it's a 2.
Aiden White
went down.
He was there in coverage as well, trying to make a pick, and then unable to secure. Neither player, offense or defense, the receiver or the corner, had possession when they both hit the ground and were inbounds at the time. Somebody had it and controlled it. Both feet were down inbounds. I don't know, Anish. That's close.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
And the risk reward for this one, if you're Jeff Brom, is huge. Aiden White makes a secure catch. Both feet are down inbounds. Where now does he have control of it? I think so. Maybe Matt see something.
Matt Austin. Let's bring Matt Austin back in. Matt, how do the officials break this down piece by piece?
Well, honestly, I hate to go here, but this is as close to a simultaneous catch as I've ever seen. And the rule on a simultaneous catch is if both players possess the ball in the air, the first person to get a foot down gets the catch. In this case, it looks like they do both control it, and the North Carolina State player gets his foot down first. Now, did they maintain possession all the way to the ground? That's the other question. I didn't see the ball hit the ground as they roll over, but I can't really tell if the Louisville player kept control of the ball or not. So this one's going to be very interesting for the replay official.
And the call on the field was incomplete. So you're looking for indisputable video evidence to overturn that. And again,
after further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Incomplete pass.
Matt, from what you said, it seemed like there were a lot of chapters to get through before you could overturn that.
Absolutely. Since they did call it incomplete, I'm not surprised at all the play stance.
I thought it was a catch by Thompson for a touchdown. I really did. I thought he had possession. I thought he came down. I thought he held control through the ground.
Travelstead to tie the game. And he does, even at 10. So Louisville off the turnover, gets the game-tying field goal. They pull even at 10. And for NC State, the bigger concern, Sean Brown made a hard-nosed football play. Crown of the helmet as he impacts a defenseless receiver. It was the tight end, and it was one of those bang-bang plays. There was clearly no intent.
You're just going to take me there again, aren't you?
I am, but
right back on that soapbox.
Andre, hey, for NC State, your weak point on defense,
yeah,
it's your safety position. You've been banged up. You're now down basically 3 of your top 4 safeties.
Not just for this week. You're talking you're going to miss Sean Brown for the start of next week's game.
Now they could potentially get Boykin back next week.
2 quarters though, and they've had to move receivers, reserve receivers to safety to just kind of get through the week with depth problems at that spot. So yeah, next week's going to be an even tougher challenge for NC State.
Julian Gray, who's taken a kick beyond the 50 in every game this season, waits near his own goal line. Won't get a chance. College football Saturday on ABC. Number 3 Texas hosting number 24 Kansas. Andre going rock chalk.
Jayhawks, baby. complete football team, offense, defense, and special teams.
Then you got Notre Dame and Duke. Louisville's got Notre Dame coming up. Irish coming off that loss to Ohio State. Blue Devils 4-0, number 17. They've got the Clemson win.
You see here
the Blue Devils too.
And you see his career starts weeks 1 through 5, or 1 through 5, 8 and 2, and the rest of the year. So they've got to finish the season. That's the main thing for the Jayhawks. Should be their rallying cry all off season was, hey, finish.
They got off to a great start last year and then stumbled into a bowl game. Michael Allen on first down, and this Louisville defense swarming now.
Stingy.
Stephen Herron, the Stanford transfer, gets him no gain.
Stingy play, stingy defense right now. And you've just kind of allowed Louisville to stay in this thing. Now you're starting to turn it over. NC State, that being NC State, and then that'll put a team right back in it.
You think about where this game was at the start of the quarter. NC State driving on the verge of making it maybe 17-0, at least 13-0. Brennan Armstrong intercepted in the end zone as we get a flag.
False start, offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Lyndon Cooper.
A couple of penalties on the big fella. That one he flinched with the snap and caused Louisville to jump. Everybody raised up and started pointing at Big Lyndon.
Second down and 15, and the final minute of the third. Screen pass, nothing doing.
Hard to find success, Anish, when you're behind the down and distance mark. Brownlee with an excellent open field tackle. He's going to shed a block and come up and make one heck of a tackle in the open field.
Brownlee, top returning tackler for Louisville. He's got big time potential.
This drive by NC State going the wrong direction.
3rd and 19. Third downs have been a struggle tonight.
Here comes pressure with a false start by big Anthony Belton. The Escalade, as you call him. His nickname around here.
False start, offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Now danger territory for NC State. You back up even more, and if you don't get this first down, for Louisville, looks like it can get great field position.
Now just looking at that picture, 74 and 14. Herron's listed at 6'4", and so is Big Belton. But Belton looks like he's three head sizes above him.
Flags all over the place.
Another hole coming up by this NC State offense.
And this just unraveling for the Wolfpack.
Holding, offense, number 53. The penalty is declined, fourth down. This is the...
See if that changes, and we can leave with a good finish. Fourth quarter, tied at 10. Noonkester, who's a weapon in the kick game, will punt it away. Coleman from the 30. Running laterally. He's got the 45, midfield.
Great return.
And tripped up by the punter, Noonkester. And right now, Louisville going downhill against NC State.
Excellent return, setting everybody up. And once he escapes out to his right, he's got a wall of blockers that's going to set him up for a huge return. I'm more shocked that he didn't get it into the end zone.
Now do you get some on the bench for getting tackled by the punter there?
You get some on the bench. You're going to get it tomorrow. You're going to get it in the film study. All of it.
They'll take a 25-yard return, and right now, well, the pendulum is swung to Louisville. Let's see if they take another shot here. Pistol set for Plummer. Play action. Eyes upfield, hit from the backside, and a sack. Peyton Wilson, he's been playing Lent on this field today.
What a player Peyton Wilson is. Leads this conference in tackles, and we talked about his motor. We've been talking about him since the top of the show, and he has not disappointed. You're going to block him with a tight end? Forget about it. He put a tight end on me? No way. I love the jersey number.
2 sacks for Wilson. NC State drops 8. Plummer, incomplete for Turner.
Got to hit that one if you're Plummer. Nobody around Turner. He's going to get you at least to 3rd down and about 6 or 7 if you complete that one, catch and run. But now it's 3rd and long, and guess what? Tony Gibson is getting ready to dial up. Some pressure of some sort by NC State coming right here.
Turner goes wide. They drop 8. Thrash gets to the outside. A 1st down and more. Jamari Thrash, just his 2nd catch of the game. And those are the explosive playmakers we highlighted at the very top of the broadcast.
And it comes against zone. That's usually a man beater, a blitz beater. When you throw the tunnel screen, you have man-to-man behind it. But they go zone. Louisville able to get it blocked up. And one of the few times Tony Gibson does not blitz, he's wishing that he'd have blitzed these.
A gain of 31. Thrash came into the game with a quarter of Louisville's receptions, just 2 tonight. Now here comes the blitz. End zone. Incomplete for Thrash, and the flag with Aiden White, the first-team all-conference corner in coverage.
Yeah, just a little bit of a jerk right as the ball was arriving.
Pass interference, defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Right as the ball was coming in the area of Thrash, you're going to see Aiden White just kind of grab him and not allow the hands to come up. Official right on the spot for that one.
1st down and goal, Louisville now from the 5-yard line.
Didn't take them long to start finding Thrash, did they? You know who he reminds me of? DeAndre Hopkins a little bit.
Wow.
He had a little more speed.
Wow.
But Hop had the hands, man. Hop can catch BBs in the dark.
1st and goal, Thrash, the Georgia State transfer. Plummer under pressure to the end zone, and that's intercepted. Louisville gives it right back.
That type of pass.
Bishop Fitzgerald.
That type of throw will get you sent to the sideline
An interception
for the
and
night.
a touchback.
And frustration from your head coach,
Full media
Jack
timeout.
Plummer, but just throws it up in the middle of the field. NC State making them pay.
The interception by Bishop Fitzgerald in the end zone, and it's a throw Jack Plummer wanted back as soon as he let go of it.
You throw this to the feet of your tight end. You throw it anywhere else, out of the end zone, to the crowd, anywhere else other than where Jack Plummer threw it.
Michael Allen gets the call on 1st down.
And gentlemen, that safety spot for NC State was so undermanned. Jakeen Harris, week 1, was lost against UConn. Devin Boykin with a lower body last week against Virginia. And then Sean Brown, we saw in the 3rd quarter, out for targeting. So Bishop Fitzgerald's interception right on cue and stepping up when that position needed it.
Now don't forget Rakeem Ashford, part of that safety contingent. He was carted off the field week 1. He's now playing a big role tonight with Sean Brown being ejected. And good second effort there. Concepcion, it's 3rd down. Well, teams tonight, Andre, have been in the red zone multiple times. They have just not been able to punctuate drives. Both teams have thrown an interception in the end zone.
Yeah, and when you get to the end zone, guys like Bishop Fitzgerald is turning you away. And Tony Gibson told us, he said, I'm expecting him to have a big game. A very, very skilled player, a good deep safety with excellent range. He showed all of that on that play.
Fitzgerald in camp, opened eyes as a ball hawk. JUCO transfer, 3rd down. On the ground, Mims spinning. Did he get there? He needed 30.
Yeah, he got it.
enough.
Just enough to move the chains. And NC State with 11 minutes, about 35 seconds or so left. We'll find the scoreboard here.
You know, Andre, some games you get the sense whoever's got the ball last. This one feels like the one that doesn't shoot itself in the foot is going to win.
Low scoring game, tough. Both teams turning it over late.
Armstrong will throw, and incomplete for Timmons, covered by Riley.
Timmons has had some game. I'd run him on some shallow crossers, things of that sort, where it's tough for a defensive back, especially when they're going man-to-man. Bump him down, let him move around a little bit just to get the ball in his hands. He seems like a dynamic playmaker.
Armstrong moves the pocket and throws it away with pressure coming.
He's made some mistakes in his own right, but that's how you throw the ball away. You throw it away where you make sure nobody's gonna, you're not leaving it up for somebody to run under or make a play. Easiest interception that Bishop Fitzgerald's gonna ever have in his career was the last one that he got from Plummer.
His first as a member of the Wolfpack. KC Concepcion, the true freshman, NC State's top receiver entering the game. Only one catch on 2 targets tonight. On 3rd and 10. Armstrong takes a shot downfield and incomplete. Wanted Lassane. No flag. It's 4th down. NC State will kick.
He has a habit every now and then of getting deep ball habits and forcing it, which gets him into trouble when there aren't big plays happening fast enough for Brennan Armstrong. I thought he had KC Concepcion crossing and was open, and he just forced one to a receiver that was blanketed down the sideline.
Kevin Coleman waits at his own 26. His last return good for 25 yards.
Punt.
Retreating to the 19. Shy of the 25, a 4-yard return on a 51-yard punt. All even. 10:45 left in regulation. Two-time Pro Bowler.
Mario Williams, Houston Texan.
Louisville's got the ball at its own 23-yard line. Plummer, quick hitter to the outside. And that's a catch. Kevin Coleman, as we get an update from Matt Berry.
Okay, Anish, want to update you on the big one of the Pac-12 tonight. Oregon State, Utah. Damian Martinez punches it in for the Beavers. They go right down the field. They're up 7-0 on Utah at home. Don't forget, coming up tonight, Big 12 football between Keaton Slovis, BYU, and Cincinnati coming up in over 30 minutes.
Matt had to convince himself when he said it. Cincinnati, BYU, a Big 12 game. Short pickup sets up a 3rd down and short. Jawar Jordan on the call. This run game for Louisville tonight, tough. They came in averaging 6 yards a carry, top 10 nationally. Only 6 total yards tonight.
Well, they felt like NC State was going to be the toughest team that they'd faced all year. Well, guess what? For the offense, it has absolutely been that tough going on the ground for the Cardinals.
3rd and short. NC State floods the box. Jordan able to get through, and he gets a 1st down. Gain of 4, 25 yards on the ground for the ACC's leading rusher.
When you're in short yardage situations like this, Tony Gibson and his bunch, you got to make sure you tackle, especially a guy like Jawar Jordan, because he gets through that first line of defense, it's over with.
Jordan averaging 9.6 yards per carry entering the game.
Yeah, not tonight.
There's pressure, and that one thrown behind Jaden Thompson. 2nd down and 10. And when you face a Tony Gibson defense, pressure is coming from somewhere. One of the things they do well, Andre, they switch up where it comes from, and they disguise it really well.
They disguise it. Sometimes they'll make you think it's coming. They'll drop 8 or drop into passing lanes where you're trying to get the ball out in a hurry. They feel like they've done a number on Jack Plummer so far because they've been able to get him into situations where he's just throwing the ball up in the middle of the field for turnovers.
Plummer steps up, trying to buy time. Now he's got an escape route, but a flag flies in as Plummer slides to the 39.
And it's in that area of holding again. One step forward, 2 steps back.
Holding, offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Right tackle Renato Brown, and Andre, of the 33 dropbacks by Plummer, 5-man pressure or more from NC State on 20 of those.
Yeah, well, we knew coming in they were going to bring pressure, and with Plummer not being fleet of foot, Tony Gibson is not afraid of him pulling it down. I mean, he's okay running with it, but it's not enough to scare Tony Gibson like it did last week against Virginia.
2nd and 20. Eric Miller making sure he had the play. Plummer on the run. Nowhere to go, and forced out of bounds by Fordham. He's still got about 4 or 5. And sets up a 3rd and long. And Jeff Brom wants to get the ball to his playmakers. Tony Gibson can be exotic.
Yeah, Thrash would fall into that category. Huggins Bruce, along with Lamar Jordan, expecting one of the 3 to touch the football here.
Thrash is lined up at the very top of your screen. Plummer airs it down the sideline and caught by Bell. 1st down, they take the shot downfield and into NC State territory.
Has he been money or what tonight? Big wide receiver at 6'2", 225. Chris Bell going up, making one heck of a play on 3rd down and long for Louisville to keep the chains moving and get them into scoring position.
How about the throw?
Throw was excellent. The catch was even better.
3 catches, 85 yards for Bell. Career highs for the sophomore. NC State crowds the box. Jordan has not been able to find many creases tonight, only a yard. Andre, I remember week 1, we had Louisville, Georgia Tech in Atlanta. We were down on the field before the game, and you came back up and said, whoa, Chris Bell looks the part.
He looks the part. Big, good-looking receiver that catches the ball with his hands. Love what he has been able to give to this offense. Louisville came in averaging 237 on the ground. Nowhere near that this evening.
Plummer trying to set up the screen. Thrash pinballs off one defender, and he's to the 26. He gets 4. 3rd down coming up.
To get the tight end, big Nate Kariski, get out of the way. He's trying to throw a block, a kick-out block, but he's in the way of Thrash, who moves around a little bit quicker than the tight end. Again.
Plummer pump fakes, flag down, tries to shovel it ahead. Red Hibbler was in the backfield, and this could knock Louisville out of field goal range.
Holding, offense, number 56. Penalty decline, 4th down.
The 2nd penalty of the drive.
for Renato Brown.
Correction. 10-yard penalty will be enforced. Previous spot, 3rd down.
I was surprised when they said declined. The ball prior to the penalty was at the 26. Now you back up Louisville 10 yards, and now you're really pushing Travelstead's range. Remember, he missed from 53. What's the key now if you're Louisville, and what do you want to do defensively if you're NC State?
Your Louisville is to get back in the field goal range, something where you either catch and run for it, you throw it where it's in field goal range. However you get there, but you've got to have something where you get your kicker back in the field goal range.
There seems to be some confusion if this penalty was declined or not. Now, Louisville brought on its special teams unit, thinking it was declined. It's 3rd down, so now they get the offense back on the field. Ball is on the 36.
Trying to get it to about the 30 or so here. Now, how do you go about doing it? Try to find maybe Chris Bell, who's been automatic on 3rd downs for Louisville.
Bell lined up at the bottom of your screen. Plummer moves the pocket, steps up, and throws it away. So 4th down, and a long field goal coming up for Travelstead, who had not attempted a field goal in college entering this season. He was 4 for 5 coming into play today. Missed earlier from 53. He's hit one as well. And this will be another 50-plus yarder for the lead.
You're right about 53, so 54.
Yeah, this will be about a 53-yarder.
That's got enough leg.
And Travelstead hits it. Career-long field goal for Brock Travelstead, and Louisville leads for the first time tonight. 13-10. 5:32 to play, and Carter. 13-10. Louisville with its first lead of the night. Cardinals with a win would go to 3-0 in the ACC. Since joining this conference, they've never been 3-0 in ACC play. Ray's a dangerous return man and brings it out close to the 40-yard line for NC State. Tonight's player spotlight is brought to you by Cracker Barrel. Brennan Armstrong, 12 of 22, 110 yards, 61 on the ground. It's been a microcosm of the season, Andre. Some up, some down.
Yeah, it really has been, and that's kind of how this game has been for Brennan Armstrong. Some good and some not so good. And he finds his team behind by 3 points with the ball and plenty of time to put a drive together and maybe go back up in this game.
Armstrong against a 4-man rush, looking for Concepcion, and he can't hold on. 2nd down, and now Concepcion is down.
He's grabbing right around that knee area.
He has been the Wolfpack's most productive receiver to date. True freshman out of Charlotte, coming off his first 100-yard game. Quiet tonight. We'll step aside. Concepcion was testing out his leg during that long commercial break. He was stepped on by the Louisville defender. A cleat got him on what looked to be his left calf area. He is on the sideline here on 2nd down. Brennan Armstrong to the air and finds Delbert Mims. It's 3rd down. Carter.
He's headed back on the field, and Anish, it's actually behind his left knee. He's got a big cut from getting stepped on, and they need him out here. He's the #1 targeted receiver for Brennan Armstrong, a freshman phenom with 116 yards last week against Virginia. He stole the show.
Entering the game, he had 22 catches for NC State. No one else was in double digits, and Concepcion lines up slot left. Now he's the motion man. 3rd down. 5-man rush. Armstrong Changing direction. And devoured at the line of scrimmage. Gelati led the pack of white and red. It's 4th down for NC State. They've got all 3 timeouts, but 4.5 to go in regulation.
Yeah, when he slows down, it essentially allows the defense to rally up and catch him. If he stays outside and continues to run, he doesn't get to the 1st down marker, but he gets about 2 yards or so shy of it. And now all of a sudden it's decision time for Dave Doran.
Noonkester on to punt, and Coleman waits at the 15. Coleman signals for a fair catch, makes it at the 21, a 37-yard kick. Week 5 in the ACC on ACCN. Georgia Tech looks to build off that road win against Wake Forest. Haynes King, the Texas A&M transfer, off to a good start in Atlanta. Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech, the primetime affair.
It's always tough when you go to Virginia Tech at night. A little Metallica playing. Tough to go there and win at night.
Tough to go to Lane Stadium most times of the day, especially at night. Well, NC State has rode its defense all night long. Jack Plummer is streaky but capable. Last week he played the best game of his career. Former Purdue Boilermaker, former Cal Bear, now a Louisville Cardinal. Hands off to the ACC rushing leader. It's Jordan. And what Louisville has, Andre, it's a 3-point game. They've got guys on their offensive side who can make it a 10-point game before you blink.
They can do it in grand fashion. A couple of guys like Thrash and Jordan. He can hit home runs on you from anywhere on the field. He went, what, 72? He is more than capable of putting this team in the end zone.
And Louisville patient with the clock. They've got the lead. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. On the ground again. And Jordan to the 29. It'll bring up 3rd down. And now we get a timeout.
Timeout. NC State, their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
NC State will stop the clock with 2:59 to go. And by the way, Peyton Wilson, Andre, he did it again. 10 plus tackles. 18th time in his career. 4th time in 5 games this season.
It's amazing. Just a tremendous player, Peyton Wilson. And I tell you what, after last week's game, we were leaving the stadium, got a chance to say hello to his mother. And you talk about proud, a proud mom. She's proud of her son. And the job that he did in Charlottesville's got to be equally as proud so far here tonight.
When we talked to him yesterday, he mentioned he doesn't know what a dimmer is. He doesn't know what an off switch is. Right. It's 1 speed.
And 1 speed only.
There's no break.
He plays exactly that way. And it's, I tell you what, he's a joy to watch play. You can tell he loves the game of football. And that's important to coaches, that you love it and not what the game provides, but just the game itself.
6th-year senior who's been through injuries. 3rd down, Louisville. Trips right. Pressure. And broken up by Aiden White. So the Wolfpack D gets the stop, and they'll get the ball back.
Perfectly played by Aiden White. Almost ran the route with the receiver. His job and didn't backpedal at all. So as soon as Thrash breaks his route off, so does White. Do a little bit better job of making him get into a backpedal so that when you break it off, you're wide open.
Jalen Coit averages more than 15 yards a punt return. Coit will let this one bounce. And it rolls dead at the 24. A 47-yard punt. But hang on, there is a flag way back inside the 20.
Even if it's running into
and Travelstead pumping his fist. He was kicking it away.
Running into the kicker defense.
That's a first down.
5-yard penalty results and a first down.
I was going to say, even if it's running into the kicker, it's going to be enough to give Louisville the automatic first down here.
Michael Tate, watch Michael Tate coming off the edge. Travelstead got it off.
Little acting job there at the end.
Wow. Wow.
Contact is there.
Matt Austin, our rules analyst, is with us tonight. Enough to warrant a flag.
You know, the contact in and of itself is barely enough, but what's in question is, was he blocked into by the offensive player? He definitely rerouted him into him. It wasn't a severe hit. I would have preferred no flag, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt.
I'm with you as well. I think in a lot of instances, you should just let them play on.
And that flag came in late. That was a late flag.
They had to talk about it. When you got to do all of that, just let them play on.
And now Dave Doran beside himself. He's at the cusp of tying Earl Edwards for most wins in NC State history. 2 away. And that penalty gives Louisville a first down. NC State already burned a timeout. And now the Cardinals have a chance to run out the clock. 2:44 to go. Jawar Jordan is the running back. Crowd not happy. Flag down.
Full start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Michael Gonzalez, junior from Indian Trail, North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte.
He was the top recruit in Louisville's class of 21. Made the move to guard this year, was a tackle.
Jordan gets the call. Engulfed for a loss of 1.
And all night long, they have forced Jordan lateral. All night,
Timeout.
3+ quarters.
NC State.
They have.
Timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
They haven't allowed him to get vertical and get his speed going up the field. Always been stretching it out towards the sideline.
Jordan's been held in check. Timeout NC State. Time for the studio and Matt Berry.
All right, Denise, quick programming update for you. Isaac Rex, BYU Cincinnati Big 12 clash. We're going to start it on ESPN News in 6 minutes if you haven't gone final NC State Louisville. So BYU Cincinnati start on ESPN News. We'll move it back to ESPN shortly.
All right, thanks, Matt. 13-10, Louisville leading. Cardinals looking to go to 5-0. The last time they started 5-0, you got to go back a decade.
Yeah. We have a trip to BYU at some point.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping we do. Need barbecue for a while before that trip.
You can have cougar tail, which is their dessert.
And the Bam Bam.
Giant donut that looks like a hot dog. 2:40 left. NC State with 1 timeout. And Jordan upended, only got a yard. It's 3rd down.
Heck of a play by Davin Van.
And NC State uses its final timeout.
NC State, their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Van got tremendous penetration there.
All right, Andre, you got 2:35 to go. It's 3rd and 16 if you're Louisville. Do you throw the ball, risk an incompletion, stopping the clock, or do you keep it on the ground, knowing you're going to punt, and you know NC State's out of timeouts, and you bleed more clock?
I got 2 plays in mind when you get to 3rd and 16. Draw or screen. That's it. I'm not going to allow Plummer to throw late down the field or over, and all of a sudden it results in a turnover. You give NC State a short field. It's okay to punt the football and play defense the way Louisville's defense has played here in the second half. They're pitching a shutout here in the second half. So I got to lean on that if I'm Jeff Brom and not try to force the ball and pick up 16 and have it result in a turnover.
The Louisville offense, for the most part, has been held in check. If they win tonight on the road at NC State in this environment, it'll be on the strength of the defense. 20 penalties in the game, 10 for each side. 2 tight ends, and Jordan the deep back.
And the play clock running down inside of 10.
And they will be conservative. Jordan lost a yard, so 4th down. And now Louisville can run some time off the clock, so they can take this under 2 minutes.
Great play from the defensive lineman for NC State. Jackson, Clark, Van, all of them played outstanding games up front.
And for Dave Doran, he knows one of the strengths of his team is special teams, the return game. Ray on the kick returns.
Did not kick to him.
White on the punt returns.
White almost took one back earlier. Big long return and kick it to him again.
They'll signal for a fair catch. He'll make it inside the 35 on 38-yard punt. 1:44 to go in regulation. NC State out of timeouts. Down 3.
This is where you love having a guy like Brennan Armstrong under center for you with all the experience that he has, the playmaking ability, durable quarterback that's not afraid to pull it down and make plays with his legs. You try to drop deep in zone, he can pull it down and make plays, slide and keep things alive for you.
A record-setting quarterback at Virginia with Robert and I calling the plays in his first season as a grad transfer at NC State. Ball in his hands, team down 3. Armstrong is hit, throws it up in the air. It's intercepted. Quincy Riley's got it. And Louisville a few kneel downs away from getting out of Carter Finley with a big ACC road win.
It's an effort play, but it's almost as bad as Plummer's interception in the end zone. When you have an opportunity to go down and get your team a lead late in the ball game, the last thing you want to do is leave one hanging over the field of play with no receivers in the area and only Quincy Riley there. You won't have an easier interception.
That's a guy now with 11 career interceptions. Think of the way this game has unfolded. Cam Kelly, defensive back for Louisville, has forced 2 turnovers. He was the one a few years ago when he played for North Carolina in this stadium. Emeka Emezi beat him for a touchdown, a game-winning touchdown. He's found some redemption tonight. Riley comes up with a pick.
Keep in mind, NC State cannot stop the clock. No timeouts left. Let it run down here and maybe snap it, kneel on it one more time, get it in the area. What Travelstead prefers it, and then kick it, try to get out of here and go home.
Louisville will go to 5-0 for the first time in a decade. They joined the ACC in 2014. This will be the first time they started 3-0 in conference play in this league. And Jeff Brom, so far he has been everything this fan base and this program wished he would when the prodigal son came home.
They were clamoring for him to come home. He finally decided to leave Purdue and take the job, and they cannot be happier with how things have gone here early in 2023 for Louisville. And Jeff Brom coming home.
One more kneel down will do it. A native son of Derby City, an assistant coach at Louisville. He played at Louisville, played high school ball in the city. He's got this team off to a 5-0 start. And this is one of the toughest environments to play in the ACC. And on a night with a super moon in the sky, you got the fans clad in black howling at the moon. Louisville pitches a second-half shutout. Down 10-0 at halftime, Andre. They win this game 13-10. So much of the chatter coming into the game was on Louisville's high-powered offense.